Just as life, which displays a manifestation of divine beauty, is a proof of divine oneness and a sort of manifestation of unity, death, too, which displays the manifestation of divine glory, is a proof of divine unity. For example, and God's is the highest similitude by showing the sun's light and reflection, the bubbles on a wide flowing river which sparkle in the sun, and transparent objects which glisten on the face of the earth testify to the sun. On those tribes of bubbles and transparent objects disappearing, the continued magnificent manifestation of the sun and the uninterrupted and constant display of its light on the successive groups and tribes of bubbles and transparent objects which follow on after them testified decisively that the little images of the sun and the lights and flashes which appear and sparkle, flare up and die away, and are charged and renewed, are the manifestations of an enduring, perpetual, elevated, single sun whose manifestation is undying. That is to say, just as through their appearance and becoming visible, the shining droplets demonstrate the sun's existence, so with their disappearance and extinction, they demonstrate its continuation, permanence, and unity. In exactly the same way, through their existence and lives, these flowing beings testify to the necessary existence and oneness of the necessarily existent one, and with their deaths and disappearance, they testify to his pre-eternity, everlastingness, and unity. Yes, the beautiful creatures and fine beings which are renewed and restored within the decline and disappearance that occur through the alternation of night and day, winter and summer, and the centuries and ages, surely point to the existence, continuance, and unity of an elevated, eternal possessor of continually manifested beauty. While the deaths and disappearance of those beings, together with their apparent and lowly causes, demonstrate that the causes are nothing but a mere veil. This situation proves decisively that these arts, these inscriptions, these manifestations are the constantly renewed arts, the changing inscriptions, the moving mirrors of an all-beauteous one of glory, all of whose names are sacred and beautiful, that they are his seals which follow on one after the other, and his stamps that are changed with wisdom. In short, the mighty book of the universe both teaches us the creational signs concerning divine existence and unity, and it testifies to all the attributes of perfection, beauty, and glory of that all-glorious one. And they prove the perfection of the divine essence faultlessly and without defect. For it is obvious that perfection in a work points to the perfection of the act, which is the source and origin of the work, and the perfection of the act points to the perfection of the name, and the perfection of the name to the perfection of the attribute, and perfection of the attribute to the perfection of the essential qualities, and the perfection of the qualities point necessarily and self-evidently to the perfection of the essence possessing those qualities. For example, the perfect inscriptions and adornments of a faultless palace indicate the perfection of a master builder's axe behind them, and the perfection of the axe shows the perfection of that active master's titles and names, which demonstrate his rank. And the perfection of the names and titles show the perfection of the other attributes qualifying the master builder's art. And the perfection of the art and attributes show the perfection of the abilities and essential capacity of that craftsman, which are called the essential qualities. And the perfection of those essential qualities and abilities show the perfection of the master's essential nature. In exactly the same way, the faultless works observed in the world, which manifest the meaning of, "Do you see any flaw?" This art in the well-ordered beings of the universe point observedly to the perfect acts of an active possessor of power. And those perfect acts point clearly to the perfect names of a glorious agent. And that perfection necessarily points to and testifies to the perfect attributes of the beauteous one signified by the names. And certainly those perfect attributes point and testify to the perfection of the perfect one qualified by the attributes. And those perfect qualities point with such absolute certainty to the perfect essence of the one possessing the qualities that they indicate that all the sorts of perfection to be seen in the whole universe are but signs of his perfections, hints of his glory, and allusions to his beauty, and pale, weak shadows in relation to his perfection.